how did you come up with the idea for Green Regimen? And it's really interesting because I never thought that I would do anything in the health and fitness industry in terms of doing something long term. I am a certified personal trainer and nutritionist, but I kind of chose to pursue that more as a job, not necessarily as a career. And I never thought I would, have a company like Green Regimen and have products and, actually change people's lives and receive emails and just in-person conversations, with people. I never ever expected that. But the thing is, Green Regimen never would have happened if it wasn't for a phone call that I received in 2010. I got this call from my mom, and we speak often, and my mother is the most positive person in the world. No question, no, hands down, the most positive person in the world. And she calls me and we're talking, but I kind of noticed that something just doesn't really seem right. So, what else is going on, Mom? How's your health? How's everything? Just decided to ask her that. And she said, well, Ty, I went to the doctor last week and they did a biopsy and they told me that I have cancer. And I couldn't hear anything else after she said that. I just said, I'm gonna have to, I just need you to hold on for a second because I'm not sure if I heard you correctly. And then she repeated it. And I said, well, okay, so what's the situation? And she said, well, we're gonna have to have emergency surgery, and they're gonna, look to remove it and see what they can do from there. So, this is my only mom. I grew up as an only child, so there's no one else that's more important to me than her. So I immediately looked for flights. I live in Los Angeles. She lives in Connecticut. That's where I'm from. And I immediately flew to Connecticut. We are just a positive family, positive group, so we expect things to go quite well. And after the surgery, the doctor comes into the waiting room. He lets us all know that, the surgery appears to be a success at this point. And I talked to the doctor myself because I want to know, okay, so what else from here? Because from everything that I've read, cancer seems to go away. You can have a surgery and remove it and then it come back. And the doctor clearly told me, he said, we're pretty sure that we've gotten rid of all of the cancer cells. We've captured everything, but we can't be 100% sure. And this could come back. But if you can just do your part and just do whatever you can to make sure that her health is her number one priority. Because, and this is the doctor telling me this, and you don't necessarily always, get a chance to talk to doctors and to hear words like this, but the doctor did say that in a lot of the cases that he's seen with people who have cancer, a lot of times it has to do with obesity. It has to do with nutrition. And if we could control those two things, then the likelihood of getting cancer would be so much lower. So I then asked him, I said, okay, well, after the surgery, what types of things, can she do? Is she able to walk? And he told me, he said, she's not going to even be able to lift anything over 10 pounds, and she has stairs in her house. And he said, it's going to be tough for her to walk up and down the stairs. She might just walk up the stairs once and, she'll just be on bed rest for a little while. And I said, it's not a problem. So I'll stay here and I'll take care of her. So that's what I proceeded to do. So when we went home that night, I was thinking, I have to do something. What else can I do? What is there to do? And the only thing I could think of is I thought, okay, well, nutrition has to be it. It has to be it because she's not going to be able to move around for at least 4 weeks. So what can I do? I looked online and I thought about what can I give her? What can I feed her? What types of foods would be most beneficial for her? And I continuously came across articles and websites that just spoke about different types of fruits and vegetables. And, I was reading articles on other people who had different bouts of cancer, and how, they started to juice and they started to blend, and miraculously the cancer would just disappear and be gone. So I said, okay. I said, you know what? We're going to have to change some things. And I immediately bought her a blender, and I started different recipes, just looking up different recipes. And of course, when you start something new, you're not always the best at it. So I would make her smoothies and I taste them and I said, oh, this is terrible. But I was like, you know what? These smoothies are fortified with the nutrition that she needs, especially since she's not going to be able to get up and move around. And days went by, I would prepare her meals for her, and I'm not a chef whatsoever. I'm not a cook at all, but I knew that I had to do something, and I taught myself whatever I needed to do to make sure that she was fine. And we continued to make these smoothies, and different family members would come over the house, let's say after 2 weeks, after 3 weeks, and her friends would come over the house, and they'd look at her and they'd say, you're looking really good. Granted that you just had surgery and you're not able to get up and move around. And she would say, hey, Ty's been making me these smoothies, and, I've been feeling good. And now a month has passed by, and now 2 months have passed by, and now I'm drinking the smoothies with her. Hey, we're in this together, right? So I started noticing with myself, like, okay, like these smoothies are actually really good. They're easy to make, and you actually do feel good. I would have a smoothie versus having meat, and I immediately feel a difference. Like we're definitely onto something. So now, we start to get to the point where my mom's able to walk, and she's able to get around and start going to her doctor visits. And after about, I'd say 3.5 months, she went to a final doctor visit, and the doctor looked at her and said, I can't believe what's going on, but not only do you look great, but you lost 50 pounds. And when she told me, I said, now that's incredible, because you couldn't lift anything, you couldn't go to the gym, you couldn't do anything. What was it? It was the nutrition. So that's why it's incredible to me when I hear people tell me that they love food. Guess what? We all love food. We do. And then when they tell me that they're unable to lose weight and they're unable to obtain optimal health because it's just too difficult. But it really isn't. I mean, this wasn't something that I had to go to school in order to understand and in order to learn. I did this out of necessity because I needed to make sure whatever I did that my mother would be fine. And that's exactly what happened. So based on her success with the smoothies, I started a YouTube channel. People would ask questions, about these smoothies, about these recipes. And I thought, okay, and the YouTube channel I found would be the fastest way to get the word out as quickly as possible. And that's exactly what happened. I would receive tons of emails. People tried the recipes, they were just so happy with them. And from there, I said, you know what, perhaps a company could be made out of this, right? Because if I could prevent anybody from receiving a phone call from a mom, a dad, a loved one, in which that person tells them that they're sick, and that loved one listened to them at the other end of the phone, knowing that there's nothing that they can do, that helpless feeling, if I could prevent people from feeling that, just based on giving them education and giving them an option to have optimal nutrition, then that's exactly what I wanted to do. And that's why I developed Green Regimen, and that is Green Regimen's mission. It's very, very simple. Nutrition is like a basic necessity of all of us. And the mission of Green Regimen is to help people obtain an optimal level of health so they can live a high quality lifestyle. It's just that simple. And it works. It actually works. I've seen it with my mom. I've seen it with myself, where I used to have high cholesterol, and now that's totally diminished. And it all started with nutrition. It's not about waking up and going to the gym and spending hours in the gym, because that will help. But the nutritional component is like none other. So this is the mission of Green Regimen. We obviously need as much help from people as possible just to spread the word, because illnesses such as cancer, high blood pressure, diabetes, it's not just going to stop. You know, the processed foods that we have out there are not helping. But we have information, we have products out there, and we have movements like Green Regimen who are willing to help. So let's all do this, and let's all continue on this journey to optimal health.